Okay, this is Awkward Occurrence for Hocus News. Today we're going to be looking at the UNCC shooting revisit and at the Colorado STEM shooting revisit. And this is Riley Howard from UNCC girlfriend talking at his wake, or so-called wake. So let's play the video.
I met you, Riley Howell, 5.5 years ago. We met at the four-way intersection in our sophomore year of high school while I waited with a friend to get picked up for the day. We hit it off immediately, laughing.
And of course she's reading from a piece of paper. And there's really no emotions because she's looking down at the paper the whole time, just reading. Y'all know how it goes. Let's just play the video.
And talking like we had known each other forever. I remember getting in the car after you left and telling my mom, "Did you see him?" Because, man, he is beautiful. I knew from
Because, man, he is beautiful.
those first few dates on that I would love you, and love you. And I was so incredibly lucky to experience your love in return. I remember one of our first dates. We sat in a burger place, even though your mama wanted you to take me somewhere just a little bit nicer. You scarfed down your food, and you even asked if you could have some of mine. I was so nervous just to make a good first impression that I hardly touched my own meal, which you later told me that you couldn't believe. However, I thought it was understandable considering that halfway through dinner, with the most handsome man I'd ever seen...
The most handsome man I've ever seen. But she couldn't dress up any better. Like, what is she wearing? I don't know, like a fleece shirt and a black shirt under that.
I met what I thought surely had to be all of his family. Parents, grandparents, cousins, siblings, aunts, all just as warm and welcoming to me as you always were. You're always the last person to see how beautiful, incredible, and selfless.
When do these people ever cry or sob or anything?
You are so humble, so giving with your time, your love, and your compassion for everyone and everything. You know everyone's name, you know how to make them feel special and included and heard, which is a priceless gift. And you taught me how to take life a little less seriously, to be able to enjoy every moment that you're given. Your unapologetic joy is contagious. Your humor is uniquely your own. And when I first...
And I should just skip over all this because she's just reading. Like, you don't have to read from nothing when your loved one dies. You don't have to read nothing. And they have cameras there. Like, anyway, you don't have to read nothing.
Saw you, it was like the sun came out, bright and beaming on the cloudiest of days. From now on, when the sun shines warm and gently on my face, I will know that it's you holding me in spirit, just as you did in our life. And in the words of your best friend Logan,
I guess. Nats.
You're a free spirit. No one could hold you down. We had to let you go. We had to let you go the path that you were going to go. I love you endlessly.
The path is gonna go.
Fiercely. And without pause. Just as I know you love me. And while I miss you more than words can say, it's these words that give me comfort as I take this one breath at a time.
Again, she's still not crying. Her voice isn't cracking up anymore. It cracked up for a second, then yeah, went back to that.
Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on...
Just reading poem after poem after poem. I guess she's giving a eulogy. Oh my gosh. A eulogy.
Snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am that swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die.
Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die, she says.
We really appreciate you being here.
Okay, this is from the Colorado STEM school shooting. This is another interview, parent-child interview. And we're not going to do too much talking, just let it play. But again, his girlfriend said, "Do not stand at my grave crying. I'm not there. I did not die." I bet he didn't die.
Just start by reading the text messages that you two exchanged while the school was on lockdown and the gunfire was breaking out, because I feel as though, Mr. Elledge, that
Let's just read some of his text messages. "Dad, the school is on unexpected lockdown. They got sirens playing. I'm in PE. Everyone is freaking out. It's not a drill." And why did he get chosen to do an interview if he wasn't in the room where the shooting happened? Right. Now that more acting. "My heart is racing. I'm actually freaking out." Okay, he sent all those texts before the dad replied. Now he sent, yeah. "Okay, calm down. Remember your training and breathe. Remember your training and breathe. The announcements, Dad. The teacher thinks somebody's in the school. On my way to the school now. Please come pick me up. I don't want to be here." They should have ran out the motherfucking school. Again, hocus news.
It just turns the blood cold of any parent to imagine getting these text messages from their kid while at school. So Chris writes, "Dad, the school is on an unexpected lockdown. They've got sirens playing all in the school and the radios are going crazy. I'm in the PE room with 4 different entrances. Everyone is freaking out. It's not a drill. I'm actually scared. My heart is racing. I'm actually freaking out. I'm really scared." You, Mr. Elledge, right back, "Okay, calm down. Remember your training and breath." And then Chris writes, "Dad, the announcements are going crazy. The speakers are telling everyone to get out of sight. The teacher thinks somebody is in the school." And Mr. Elledge, you write, "I'm on my way to the school now." Mr. Elledge, can you just tell us what happened when you got those texts?
When you first...
And you can tell for yourself about these two on the right. You can just come to your own conclusion about these two on the right.
You're hoping it's not the worst, and then later in the message, when you see the message for...
It's 6:23 a.m. in Colorado, and they're doing an interview. Right.
Gunshot shoot, realize it is. So, like any parent, you get scared. You want to get to the school. You want to grab your kid.
How long did it take you to get to the school?
Approximately 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
What happened and what was the scene?
So, when I first got here, there wasn't a lot of cops here yet. They had the road blocked off. I couldn't pull into the school parking lot. So I turned...
Yeah, no emotion. Him sniffing, yet no emotion.
Inside the school and walked over. And there was one other parent here waiting as well. So we basically just stood and waited to find out what we could and wait for the kids to come out.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we can only imagine the terrifying moments. And so, Chris, what were those moments like in the gym as you were hearing school...
In the gym.
Announcements.
He was in a gym, not the classroom, but somehow he's the one who gets to do an interview. He wasn't in the classroom. He wasn't nowhere near the shooting. Like, why are you interviewing people who was nowhere near the shooting?
What were they telling you?
People who was nowhere in the room. Oh, let me look down and gather some emotion.
It was just terrifying. It was scary looking around at my friends' faces, seeing that they were just as terrified as I was, and there was crying. People were crying in the classroom. Over the intercom, they had announcements going on saying lockdown, lock lights, out of sight, and it just kept repeating over and over and over, and it just kept repeating itself for the whole course of the time that we were in the building, and it was extremely scary. The whole time you were just debating, and the first thought that you had was, I need to make sure my parents know what's going on, and I need to make sure my parents know I'm okay. I don't want them to worry.
Oh my gosh, Chris, and
oh my gosh,
what an ordeal to have to do this via text and to be so terrified. Mr. Elledge, when you said to Chris, remember your training and breath, what's that based on?
Christian's a national competitor in Taekwondo from Iron Horse Dojo in Colorado Springs, and they work a lot on pacing themselves and breathing and so forth so that they can get through the training. And then also here at the school, on somewhat of a regular basis, they go through training for these kind of situations. So in these times, remembering those things that you've learned is what I was trying to get to him.
I mean, the idea that our kids have to go through regular lockdown training and active shooter scenarios just tells you the point that we've gotten to. And obviously, I don't have to tell all of you from Colorado how long this has gone on and how crazy it is that you, as a freshman, Chris, have to live through this. And so when you were in the gym, how long were you in the gym? What were your classmates saying? And was it comforting to be in contact with your dad via text?
Like, none of this interview matters. It doesn't. She's talking about what's the confidence to be in contact with your dad. He wasn't even in the room of the so-called event. It's just another nonsense. Some more nonsense interviews, man.
Just having the text messages from my dad was, it was...
Does the interview 6 in the morning.
Knowing that I had my friends right beside me.
A couple of days after shooting.
Experience I mean, of course, I wasn't happy that we were going through that, but it's always better to have someone there with you when you're going through it. And being with my dad, texting my dad and having him respond to me was just that extra feeling of relief, gave me a little bit of reassurance that, maybe I was going to be okay. And as far as how long we were in the classroom, I can't give you, an exact time span, but I can tell you that it was long enough to hear pretty much everything that went on. It almost went on right outside our classroom. Down the hall, it transferred from down the hall to by our classroom, and then it left. The sounds faded away, and then it came back, and then the cops came, and all you could hear was screaming and yelling in the hall, and get down on the ground, and it was terrifying. But having being able to text my dad was just, it was really reassuring. It was relief.
Chris, we can hear how shaken you still are, of course, because of what you've just lived through. How are you going to get through this and go back to school? As a community. We're going to get through it as a community because, you don't stop your life just because of one bad thing. You can't let that get in the way. You have to band together as a community. You have to stay strong. STEM strong. STEM strong. STEM is strong, and we're a strong community, and we will get through this as a school, and just with my friends and with my parents and with my community as a whole. Mr. Elledge, the parents of Kendrick Castillo lost their only child, and the people in his class say that he and other heroic students charged the shooter. And I'm just wondering if you have anything you want to say to his parents.
We had a prayer vigil last night, and we all as a community recognized.
I don't think I did a video of that vigil, but that vigil, that planned vigil was way planned. The vigil was led by a non-student on the walkout, so that was planned. Everybody just follows the herd, and it was shot on mental health. Don't politicize our event. That whole visual didn't make sense. Why are you shouting mental health and shouting don't politicize our event? You shouting mental health is politicizing the event. The whole event was politicized. And it's just an event, a drill, or whatever you want to call it.
His heroics as well as the others. And, I don't know what you can say at the moment. As far as the parents go, what a great job as far as raising their kid. What a great kid. What a great loss to us as a community. So, those are things that are hard to put into words. We as a community will be able to show them how much we appreciate what he did.
Eldon and Chris Elledge, I think that you said it beautifully, Mr. Elledge, actually. We really appreciate your words. We're so sorry that you went through this. Take care of yourselves. This is going to be a long road.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Kendra Castillo and Brendan Biley, you guys are heroes. And we owe our lives to you. And we owe our lives to the brave men and women and the police officers who got us out of there safely. You guys are amazing.
Thank you for recognizing them. I know that they appreciate it, and I know
More
that
sniffling.
really appreciate your words, Chris. Did you know Kendrick?
I did not know him personally, but I know that his smile illuminated the walls in our school. Everybody looked up to that kid. He was brilliant. He was probably the best of us. He was one of the best of us by far. He was just an extraordinary kid. You know, I didn't even need to know him personally to know that he was a star student, and he was just a star person who anybody could go to and look up to as a role model. And he was the most undeserving of what happened to him.
We can tell from the pictures. I mean, we can see that smile, and we hear people talk about him. He was just a few days away from graduating.
Okay, let's
And Chris,
skip
what
over
do you want to
this.
say to his parents?
I'm so sorry. Amazing person. Just knowing what's going to come next. You know, worrying about what your parents are thinking and what your friends are thinking, and getting texts from, you know, your friends all over the district who you haven't talked to in a while, who are asking you if you're okay and if you go to STEM because there's a school shooter at your school and they're worried about you. And it's just scary not knowing what's going to come next. So students that you see steps to you, and it's just scary not knowing what's going to come next. So no, I can't even make anything
We'll skip over this.
possible because
Those are such beautiful words. I mean, Chris, it shouldn't be up to you guys. Stop.
Away from
schools.
students are taking actual steps to keep gun violence away from their campus. It's been 3 days since that deadly shooting at UNC Charlotte.
And this is a UNC Charlotte cast.
And our reporter Tina Terry has traveled with a large group of students from the University City area into uptown Charlotte. Tina, describe for us what you've seen and heard.
Yeah, guys, we have been following these students that you see behind.
And then them kids from UNC Charlotte actually joined March for Our Lives, the AKA David Hard Parkland Hocus News event.
Us here all day long. You can see they are carrying signs. This has been a very hard
Hashtag
week for
never
them.
again.
We're following them to
That's
a
David
huge
Hall.
rally in uptown called March
Come on now, hold on.
for Our Lives. Let's go to
All of a sudden, March for Our Lives. You see how this is connected to that Parkland and David Hogg Hocus News? And March for Our Lives got involved so fast.
a little video from earlier today. The students rallied on campus and then they took to the light
You see how brainwashed and dumbed down these people are that participate in these things?
rail in uptown Charlotte. They are calling for gun control after this week's deadly shooting on
There you go. Oh, we're calling for gun control. Oh, just take our guns. Just take our guns. And most of them don't have guns. Most of them don't understand the need for guns. Most of them don't understand how government can be corrupt or is corrupt.
UNC Charlotte.
They go to that scene of the police supposedly running in UNCC Kennedy Hall 2 minutes after getting a call. And they ran in with no guns, no bulletproof shields, no bulletproof armor. Guns weren't drawn. And that Hocus News story.
Now, 2 days ago, a shooter walked into a building on campus. He opened fire, killing 2 and injuring 4 others.
Yeah, that Hocus News.
Organizers, along with Representative Alma.
More dumbed down people speaking. This old lady nigga get off the stage. Her old self. Knowing she ain't got no gun. And knowing that she's just as indoctrinated as the rest. Her old indoctrinated self.
Adams and several local government leaders spoke out today. They are asking
They go the young, indoctrinated, dumbed down ones.
the public to support U.S. Senate Bill 42, which calls for universal
Oh, more bills. Oh, more control over humans. Oh my gosh.
background checks. Organizers say that
Books, not bullets, right? The books tell you bullshit. Your teachers tell you bullshit. The teachers are taught to tell you bullshit, right?
is what is needed to prevent another shooting on any campus.
They want to prevent another shooting. Give the kids the guns back in schools like they used to have way back when kids as young as 12 was carrying guns to school. Give them the guns back. Wasn't no gun shootings going on back then in school. A gun-free zone.
America.
Improve background.
They're using kids, using students, using schools, shameful, to take away guns. And they're using this excuse of safety and whatnot to take away guns.
Checks to improve mental health checks to allow
Mental health checks and mental health check, yeah.
Not all of them, but it will reduce the risk. It'll stop some of them. And
It will stop nothing. A mental health check stops nothing. So anybody can buy a gun and walk into anywhere they want to go. And anybody can shoot anybody. You don't need a mental health check to buy a gun. You don't.
give people at least a sense of security that there is some type of obstacle.
This mental health thing, I mean, they want to make something serious out of it. And they want to make it, it's some sort of regulation they want to put in place about mental health. Like, you got to have a mental health check at, 4 or 5 years old? Like, it's a way they're going to do with this mental health that going to keep citizens in the future from owning guns. Before they even of legal age, you can't own a gun. Like, you could be 10 years old, do a mental health check, and say, no, when you get of legal age, you can't own a gun. And eventually, nobody can own a gun. Trust me, they're taking this mental health thing, and they're going to expand on it, and it's going to be intrusive to the humans. It's going to be intrusive to freedom. And it's going to have something to do with taking away freedoms and taking away guns. Taking away rights. This mental health thing is just to take away rights.
In place that has the potential to stop these things from happening.
What has the potential to stop fake events? I'm going to let y'all answer that. Never again. Never again.
To that uptown rally at Romare Bearden Park, and I will bring you live pictures in about an hour.
Don't bring me nothing. We know it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. Never have they ever once said give the guns back to the students like the students had back in the 60s, 50s. They never. The most logical thing to do is let kids have their guns. Let these people have their guns. Stop raising the age limit.
They are moving uptown, and we're following them.
Because the statistic shows back in the day when kids were showing off their guns in school, wasn't nobody getting shot. Wasn't nobody getting shot in the 60s. Kids bringing their guns to school, bringing their guns on college campuses. Wasn't nobody getting shot. Wasn't no massacres. Okay, let's get to the next video.
Tonight, new documents shedding light on what was going on.
This is the University in UNCC. Now, this is strange because they changed the story again about whether he was enrolled or not towards the end of this one. This is going to be the last video.
Inside the mind of the accused UNC Charlotte gunman, search warrants show he targeted a specific table of people.
He targeted a specific table of people. He wasn't even enrolled in that class anymore, as well documented in my last videos.
Charlotte's Tanya Mendez has been going over the warrants page by page today, and Tanya,
going over the warrants for what? Just to search the house and find what? You already had the suspect in custody. You already had his gun. He committed a crime. Come on, don't bullshit people.
a pretty chilling picture of what may have happened.
A very chilling account in this search warrant.
There's no chilling account in that search warrant. Keep going.
That I have here in my hands. Not only does it explain what the suspect did in the classroom, but it also shows what...
Well, not only does it explain the suspect did, we know what the suspect did in the classroom. He went in there and shot people.
Officers found when they went into his apartment. In the hours after...
Well, what did they find when he went into his apartment or his place? What, another gun or something? A manifesto. No, I know they didn't find a manifesto because he's still alive.
For the chaos and life lost at UNCC, we saw officers with vests on, guns drawn.
So in the beginning of this video, we saw Riley Howells' alleged girlfriend read from a script and do some little fake emotion, no crying, no nothing. I know that was my loved one in that casket. I love very much. I'd be up there crying. I'm not reading from the script. I'm reading from the heart.
Sniffing around the suspected mass shooter's apartment.
Oh, you're sniffing around for drugs? Oh, you're looking for drugs? You got the drug dog out there. What are you sniffing around for? This wasn't a drug crime.
And now we're learning more about what they found when they went inside. This is the search warrant for the alleged gunman's apartment.
Yeah.
It outlines...
Yeah. They just throw together some documents to make it seem more real. Again, hocus news.
The chilling preparation he appeared to take before opening...
Chilling preparation, what? Buy a gun, buy some magazines. He just walked into the school. Because allegedly, he just gave up, set his gun down, sat down, waited for police to come. And then first reports, they said Riley charged the gunman. Riley got shot while charging the gunman. And while being shot, he held the perp down until police came. That's documented. Then they changed the story to Riley charged the gunman, and Riley did not hold the suspect down, but the suspect gave up after one of the victims said, "Why are you shooting? Are you going to stop shooting?" The suspect put the gun down and just waited for the police to come.
Fire on campus. Detectives discovering paper targets set up inside the apartment.
Paper targets? Oh.
Plus 6 boxes of ammo.
6 boxes of ammo? Oh.
3 handgun magazines.
Oh, 3 magazine clips. Oh. So horrifying. He had magazine clips.
And a magazine loader.
Oh.
Witnesses describing to police what happened that day, saying the gunman slammed the classroom door open, pointed a gun at them, walked up to a particular table, and began firing at the students sitting there. According to the affidavit, saying the gunman slammed the classroom door open.
That's not what the teacher said on his blog. The teacher said he was teaching, he heard a loud bang, and he began to rush the students out the room. He did not say nothing about a student slammed the door open, walked up to a certain table, and started shooting. No, he said he heard a loud bang, he was teaching, heard a bang, and walked the students and heard the students out the classroom.
And pointed a gun at them, walked up to a particular table, and began firing at the students.
Teacher never said he walked in with a gun, pointed it, then walked to a table, and then started shooting. No, teacher said, I was teaching, I heard a bang, then I immediately rushed them out. So no, don't say the teacher was not paying attention to what was going on. No, if he saw if he saw this dude walked in there with a gun, he would have immediately rushed them out. No, he said, I was teaching, I heard a bang, I rushed them out. And that's well documented in my other videos and well documented on his blog. The teacher says nothing like this. Again, accounting events changes.
According to the affidavit, when a UNCC police sergeant got on scene, he had to ask the students in the classroom.
Room 236, right. 236, right.
Who the gunman was, as if the shooter was trying to blend in with the victims.
Ask who the gunman was, as if the shooter. No, the shooter set the gun down and sat there and waited for the police to come. Okay, that's well documented story. Again, they're changing the story. And as if.
David says the suspect admitted it was him. When police arrested him, they found a Glock and a black leather bag that had multiple gun magazines. And according to this...
Multiple gun magazines, so he stopped shooting. Why? He wasn't injured or nothing, he just stopped shooting. He had multiple magazines and just stopped shooting. Right.
That classroom that the suspect targeted was the only class that he was attending. He'd already dropped out of the rest of his classes on campus. He was attending. He'd already a Glock and a black...
Lady in the pink. Listen to what he said. If you go to the teacher blog, the teacher clearly states that the shooter dropped out his classroom, last year or earlier last year? So he had already dropped out of that class and came back and started shooting. Again, the story changes. Now they're saying he was enrolled in that class, and that was the only class he was enrolled in.
Leather bag that had multiple gun magazines. And according to this search warrant, that classroom that the suspect targeted was the only class that he was attending. He'd already dropped.
That was the only class he was attending. But if we go back to my previous videos and go to the teacher blog, the teacher clearly states he had dropped that class long ago. But now they're saying that's the only class he was attending. Can y'all get your story straight? Can y'all get it straight? No, you can't get it straight because you're full of shit and the story's full of shit.
Out of the rest of his classes on campus.
But he dropped out the rest of the classes, but then dropped that teacher class. When the teacher clearly, let me one more time. Teacher clearly stated he dropped that class last year.
Reporting at UNCC, I'm Tanya Mendes, NBC Charlotte.
Okay, let's recap. The first part of this video was Riley Howell's girlfriend speaking unemotionally, fakely, at his eulogy, at his wake. She's reading from script a bunch of poems or whatever, trying and laughing, making jokes, laughing. Second video was Colorado STEM interview with a student and his dad, and you know that mockery of an interview. I'm gonna say mockery, that tomfoolery of an interview from the Colorado STEM student and his father. And this is the third video. Or fourth, I forget. It was 2 WSOC TV video interviews. One was students from UNCC marching with March for Our Lives. And you know who owns March for Our Lives? That crook David Hogg. And this is the fourth video where they say the warrants found, of course, gun magazines. Of course, if you own a gun, you got gun magazines. And now they say he was enrolled in that class. And then he walked up to the table. He opened the door with a loud bang. He just busted in, opened the door, a loud bang. Walked up, pointing the gun, walked up to a table and started shooting somebody. And started shooting people. And that is a different account from what the teacher says if you go to the teacher blog. I'm going to end this video here. This has been Awkward Occurrence with Hocus News.